Hey guys, welcome back. I am ready to start hanging drywall in my bathroom. But there's something that I'm gonna do, and it's something that we always do at work at our construction and remodeling company. And that is we use a tape measure and take pictures of every important thing that we would want to be able to know where it is inside the wall later once we've got drywall on it, tile on it, stuff like that. So not only just taking pictures of every wall so you can see where pipes are, where studs are, blocking, all that good stuff, but specifically this tile niche. So I took pictures with the tape measure pulling from the stud and from the top lip of the tub, which are both places that I can then measure up exactly and know precisely where this rough opening is all the way around. And I did the same thing on this rough opening right here for the medicine cabinet. And that will allow me to make sure, once I think I know where I want to cut the drywall later, to both install the medicine cabinet and do the niche in the tile assembly, I can double check and make sure that I'm indeed in the correct space and I'm not going to hit a stud or hit the edge of a stud where I didn't want to. Try to do all the layout beforehand, make sure everything's in the right spot, the correct size, etc. But it's still really nice to just know where something is when you can't see it anymore. But anyway, I'm gonna go down and start cutting. Well, I'm gonna measure up here. Hard to cut drywall if you haven't measured it first. I'm gonna measure how big I need to cut the drywall, and I'm gonna go downstairs. I dropped it all on my front porch the other day because we were supposed to have a tropical storm coming through this weekend. So dropped it all on the front porch a few days ago before all the rain. So I'm going to start putting drywall up.
The drywall up.
Mixed up some of this Proform 5-minute mud yesterday and did a little bit of pre-fill in places where there was some gouging or just places that needed a little bit of help before taping. And you'll also notice a few places where the paper face of the drywall was torn off, during the installation process or transportation, things like that. So these days, we use this Kills Clear sealer and bonding primer for that. In the past, we've used the Zinsser Cover Stain, which is an oil-based primer, to seal places like that. And the reason is if you don't seal that paper, when you apply the drywall mud, it will bubble, and because the water in that drywall mud is just soaking into the paper and absorbing it, so you have to seal it with an oil-based primer, or they've started making, or we recently discovered this latex-based stuff which just dries faster and doesn't sneak as much as the oil-based cover stain does. So that's nice. So I am ready to go ahead and start taping in here. I am not going to film a ton while I'm doing drywall work because it's a small room for one, so it's going to be hard to get good angles of it. I'll film a little bit while I'm taping probably, but not a lot. Partially because it's in an awkward space to try to do that in, and partially because I suck at drywall work, but I'm doing it because I don't have to pay something to do it. When I'm able to do it, it just takes longer and not quite as pretty. So I'm not going to show off my poor drywall skills for you guys. You'll just have to see a little bit of the tape coat and then finished product later. But yeah, that's the next step, is all this drywall finishing, and we're going to be starting tile pretty soon. So that'll be the next video in this series, is going to be all of the tile work, or maybe a next couple of videos. We'll see how it goes, but we're not quite there yet. Got to do all the drywall work first. I should also point out one other thing, since I'm not interested in BSing people on this channel and trying to hide mistakes I make. So I know I talked about either earlier in this video or in the last video about, you know, how important it is, both, you know, to me personally in my house, but also, you know, in our clients' homes when we're remodeling their bathrooms or their kitchens, that we, whenever possible, we try to get nice flat walls by either reframing a wall, or what I did here, which is just shimming out the face of the stud to get a nice square, flat, plumb, all that stuff on the walls. It didn't even occur to me to do that on my ceiling here. And I didn't realize it was as bad as it was until I hung the drywall on the walls several weeks after I hung the drywall on the ceiling. And it may not look terrible in the camera, but that's at least a ½ inch gap there in the all the way back in the corner. And it's because this area of the ceiling is going up, or this whole area is going down. Doesn't matter either way. And that is something that will be extremely noticeable in the wall tile. We're going to do a subway tile in the shower, and it will be extremely noticeable. It would be noticeable even if it wasn't subway. So I'm going to have to float the ceiling down in that whole corner to get it where the visible finished ceiling is actually flat. And it may not be perfect, but I need to get it pretty close so it doesn't look terrible along the tile cuts there. So created some extra work for myself by not thinking to check if the ceiling was flat or not. But, you know, such is life. Sometimes you make mistakes and you don't realize it until it's, I mean, it wasn't too late, but I would have had to pull all the drywall down on the ceiling and totally reframe the ceiling to get it flat, and I opted to go this route. So such is life. We own up to our mistakes and then fix them. What you think?
Cool. I'm following the cord.
You're following the cord? Well, I'm not done with drywall. I haven't even really started in the closet yet, but made good progress out here in the main bathroom. Finally started the first coat of basically building down that high corner up there, so continue that. So while this is not the end of the drywall phase, it is officially the end of this video, because we're going to be getting into tile here very shortly. So thanks for watching thus far, if you've been here the whole time. And come back on the next one. We'll be, like I said, getting into tile. So the fun stuff. My wife and kids are super excited for the tile to go in.
I love tile.
Yeah. We went and picked it up last night, so we're ready to get going. Thanks for watching. See you guys on the next one.
Next